Is the 14th.
Ed.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to the Today's Restaurant News Networking Group. Today is August the 9th, 2024. I'm Howard Appel. I'm the founder and publisher of Today's Restaurant News. And we are a group of vendors who are here to help each other grow our businesses and to help any restaurant owners who might have any questions or concerns and they feel they need help with it. We're here to help. And if you'd like to get involved, give us a call at 561-620-8888 or go to our website at trnusa.com and check out our YouTube channel at Today's Restaurant, where we have all of our meetings recorded on our channel. And if you want to, you can access it through our website, again, which is trnusa.com. Kyle, welcome back.
Yeah. Thank you. Good to be here again.
Cotter, that's a song. Welcome back, Cotter. Anybody remember that?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you got, hey, Barry, if you got,
Yeah, that's a good name for us, the Warthogs, or whatever they call them.
Or what did he used, what else he used to say? Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Yeah.
Brian, the restaurateur you asked me to send the link to, obviously is not here, so his loss.
Okay.
All right, let's do our intros, and we've got some interesting topics to cover today. I'm going to start with Kyle because he's returning.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. And yeah, thanks again for letting me join. My name is Kyle Cottengim. I'm with the Buyer's Edge platform. We are a digital procurement network that has a extensive suite of solutions that help restaurant operators, independent, medium, emerging, and national chain to lower the cost of goods, improve operational efficiencies, and provide unrivaled visibility to their spend. So we are a $60 billion network of restaurants throughout the United States and expanding globally. We power 60 of the top 100 chains in the world, helping them leverage the purchasing power on items that are non-contracted with our deals. Buyer's Edge platform has over 350 manufacturers offering us rebates and deviations that we then extend to our members. So very simply, you can look at us like a Costco for food service operators. We are the power of collective. And if you're buying it, most likely we got a deal on it. Or if we don't have a deal on it, we have an exact match that you consider to continue to lower your cost of goods and add basis points to your bottom line. So super exciting to be part of this. And thank you again for the opportunity. I can be reached at 404-683-1196, or you can just Google the Buyer's Edge platform and enter a recommendation for us to reach out to you and just denote my name, Kyle Cottengim. Thanks, guys and girls.
Kyle, it's interesting you mentioned Costco. There was a news article yesterday that Costco is going to start checking all the people that come into their stores now to verify that they have a current ID card or membership card.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to scan it at the door.
Yep.
No way. Rather than have to.
They're doing, Terry, I don't know how they're going to implement it, but that's what they're talking about. They've got too many people that are loading those cards to family members, and they want to stop that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
Netflix did.
Like Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed,
You're getting the money.
No.
Why do you care where the money comes from?
yeah, that's why.
Because they make money on the memberships. That's why.
I've got it on my phone, so I just show my phone now instead of a card, and it's got a QR. They just added that QR reader to it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Mike, I think the reason they're doing that is because they're losing money. Because
That's right.
if you have membership, you have to pay for your membership.
Right.
Exactly right. They actually, a big source of their money is the membership dues.
Mhm.
They're losing money on the hot dogs.
Yeah.
My rotisserie chicken.
All right, Cynthia, welcome back.
Thank you. So 312 ID, we're branding design for restaurants and entertainment, and we specialize from everything from the name of the logo, the concept of the restaurant or store, and on store planning as well. And you can reach us at info@312id.com.
Okay, Ed,
Good morning, everybody. Ed Gerton with Seacoast Sales in Orange Park, Florida, which I always say is just the outside of Jacksonville, Florida. We are a restaurant supply company that specializes in frozen dessert equipment. So we have batch freezers, both vertical and horizontal, by Carpigiani and BGI. We have soft serve machines by Carpigiani. We have display cases from ISA, IFI, and GTI Design. We have blast freezers. We will be at the Florida Restaurant Show in booth 1745, and we will have a BGI machine. They'll be making gelato, and we will have a soft serve machine making soft serve machine. And there you can buy the machines from us, and you can have Brian finance them on the spot. So what a combination. That'll work out. You can reach us at 904-334-4489. Thank you.
thank you. All right, Brian, tell us about your financing of the machine.
That's just as bad as following Chris there.
Brian, remember up in Myrtle Beach, we had all those people that came by and they say, what do you do? I said, ice cream equipment. Oh, well, I don't need any. I can't afford it. I said, well, you can finance it right through this guy next to me here. And,
we were teasing.
And walk away.
We were teasing them with some energy drinks.
Yeah, you wanted a free energy drink, you had to buy a piece of equipment.
Yeah. Hey, I might do it again next year. I don't know. Let's see. Again, I'm Brian with Rogue Financial Group. We are a commercial equipment financing company. I primarily focus on the hospitality side, which, you know, restaurants, bars, breweries. As Ed mentioned, I'm involved in the convenience store side. And we can finance pretty much any type of equipment that you're looking at. And I work with vendors, again, small, large projects, startups. I work all over the country. Again, Brian with Rogue Financial Group. It's 404-723-7222.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Steve. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? I'm Steve Whitehill. I own Anchor Business Brokers, and I help people buy and sell businesses. And as usual, I'd like to tell about a business that's for sale. We have all sorts. Normally, I like to talk something in the restaurant industry, but just to give you an idea of how far afield you can get a medical transportation business available in Miami, and that business has a gross revenue of about $390,000, and on that you make almost $230,000, and you can buy that for $575. $575,000. I wish you could buy it for $575. That would be nice. With an SBA loan for about 60 grand, you can buy essentially $230,000 worth of income, which is really not a bad return on investment. So there are all sorts of businesses out there, whether it's a restaurant or medical transportation or really anything you can think of. There's something out there for everybody. Steve Whitehill, Anchor Business Brokers, and I can be reached at 561-376-7500, or you can get me on my through my email address is steve@anchorbb.com. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mike, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Mike Sardone with Spot On Point of Sale Systems. So we are a cloud-based point of sale solution that has all your customers' needs with processing, as well as trying to grow your client base and your customer base as well. So main goal is to help retain clients, customers, boost your profitability, and then enhance your customer experience. So I can be reached at 678-231-2279. I am the Georgia State Manager, but I can get you in touch with anybody nationally. My email is mike.sar DONE at spoton.com.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Brian A., you with us?
Yeah, I can do it quickly. So sorry, everybody, just had a call come in. Brian Auerbach with InfoSync BPO. So we are an outsourcer of accounting and payroll services, mostly for multi-unit restaurant chains throughout the country. So we basically take the accounting and payroll stuff that everyone loves to do, and we take that away from you so you don't have to worry about it. And usually we bring about a 20 to 30% cost savings by doing that. We also have a fun service for our restaurant owners called third-party delivery recovery. So if you know those Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub disputes that come from customers, we will go after Uber Eats and DoorDash to get that money back, which is usually somewhere around 2 to 3% of your overall revenue that comes from third-party delivery is lost to those. So we go back and get that for you. Brian Auerbach with InfoSync BPO. I can be reached at 786-670-1027, and my email is Brian, BRIAN, .Auerbach, AUERBACH, at ISSVC.com.
Okay, thank you. Rick, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Rick Israel with Affiliated Health Insurers, located here in Huntsville, Alabama. We are an independent brokerage firm. We help small and medium-sized businesses with their group health insurance, along with ancillary benefits, critical accident, long-term, short-term disability. We also will help enroll individuals coming off the group plans into the Medicare niche, as far as helping them enroll into Medicare, getting their plans prepared and their prescription drugs prepared. I can be reached at area code 256-937-2537. Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
How's anybody
I was trying to, he only did it when I started talking and I was about to.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I tell you, the past 2 weeks is to pick on the Alabama guy. I tell you.
Must be something in the water today.
Hey, Steve, that was good. I like that, Steve.
I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
All right,
my
TRN
God.
Terry,
You know what
you
it
gotta
is?
follow that.
But Chris Kaufman's not here, so somebody had to fill the slot. That's what it is.
know,
He'll be back.
the funny thing is that Steve would be the very last person I would expect that. For him, hey,
And
he's
that's why I get away with it.
very, very nice. I
That's
guess
funny.
how you can be serious or follow that. So I'm not even going to try. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday. Always a good day. I actually sent, for all of you that get the Florida leads, they went out yesterday. We worked really hard to get them out before the 9th, which is today. And what we're finding is that there are, I can't even tell you, I'll go to any place, and to prove a point with my friend, we'll go to any 4 corners that has shopping centers and drive through all 4 of them. And any one of them will have a restaurant, bakery, coffee shop coming into them. So of the literature that I have, the ones that have sent me the literature, I will put that through the door with a handwritten note so they know it's not somebody that just dropped something through the door. So hopefully business comes from that. But what we do here and what I'm in charge of, and very proudly, is our monthly lead reports, which includes things that are under construction and that have just opened. You get the owner's names, addresses, email addresses, very, very important and very difficult to get many times. What the establishment is, square footage, does it have a bar? Does it have a rooftop bar? It's a big deal up there because now that's what a lot of people are doing. And I'm finding 2- and 3-story buildings where they're building up rather than out. So that could be something really for everyone. And I don't care who's in this group. I don't care what you do. If you are a commercial retailer and you sell to restaurants, distributor, you need to know what's coming in. Even if you take the emails, blast it out yourself, whatever you want to do. I have people that renew year after year after year. Once you're in, your price does not go up. As a poor guy yesterday from the FRLA emails me, he says, is my subscription up? I said, yeah, next month. He goes, well, send me the sheet. I want to renew so I don't forget. So I sent him the sheet and he writes me back in big letters. What happened? Your price is doubled. Mine is supposed to be. I said, calm down. Just cross it off and write your price in. Boy, was he happy. I said, if you let it expire, then that's when it happens. But he was so elated that his price did not go up. And the group also gets a special price. So you can email me for that. Terry at trnusa.com. And believe me, this is a full-time job, plus keeping the team together to get these leads out. Thank you. Any questions? Let me know. Anybody watch? Opening a place, let us know. Somebody in this group can help you.
Terry, I've got a question. Are most of your leads only like big corp?
Not taking questions. Yes, yes, Rick.
He gets no respect.
Yeah. Are all your leads from corporate companies, or do you get leads from small business owners, like
yeah.
individual? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm connected also after 28 years, we're connected with all the PR firms. So I know when stuff's opening up, when it's just being built, when it's coming into the state, they want us to do stories on them, which we do, everything. Thank you, Cynthia. I will answer that shortly. Yeah, we get, it doesn't matter who it is. It could be a franchisee that's just now he's going to open another place. It could be a corporate store that's opening. They were franchising. Now all the stores are corporate. It could be anything. We get it all. And when I say all, I mean all. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I want to bring something up that I saw yesterday, and this is not political in any way, shape, or form. Well, here's Chris. Let me get him in first. Chris, you're right on time. If you can hear me,
I can hear you.
There he is. You can give your intro, and then I have a question for you.
Okay, great. Good morning, Chris Kaufman, restaurantallstars.com. Restaurant All Stars, providing human capital for those companies who would like to increase their quality of talent in their organization. And we work with anything from a pizza by the slice type of place to a New York Stock Exchange multi-billion-dollar company. Because let's face it, if you're in business, what's the key difference between success and failure? Historically, it's people. And that's where we come in. So we work on behalf of the companies to provide them talent that they may not be able to find themselves, or if they're in a pinch and they've got some explosive growth going on. Like we're working with one company that's going to be opening 25 restaurants this year alone. And they are getting ramped up, and that's wonderful for us and wonderful for them as well, because when the dust settles, they'll be in a better shape than before they called us. Chris Kaufman, restaurantallstars.com, and conveniently remembering the number 404 All-Star, 404-255-7827. Chris Kaufman, member FDIC. Bye-bye.
Chris, I got a quick question for you. Would you have a problem, or would there be an issue if an attorney wanted to join this group who specializes in immigration law and bringing people into the country to work seasonally?
Sounds great. Bring him in. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I appreciate the courtesy to ask, but yes, that's that could be a wonderful addition to the group. Let's bring him in.
Bring them in.
Hey,
Right.
Yep.
All right.
Howard,
Yeah.
before you jump in, I want to tell Mike something that he might want to check this out. I was at dinner with my parents on Wednesday, and there's a restaurant called La Parrilla, which has multiple locations.
Yep.
Okay. And because I was in the POS industry with Aloha for years, and I actually put a lot of these systems back in 98, 99. And you should really, and one of the owners is Martine, and I think their office is over in Marietta,
Yes.
and they're on a old version of Aloha. I mean, because I noticed the version, and it's like it still looks the same. So I don't know what, and I think La Parrilla is coming out with a new concept. I'm not sure exactly, but you might want to check into that. I mean, they're
We've tried meeting with them. So we've met with Martine. Their IT director heads up most all of those kind of decisions and things like that. Unfortunately, like getting through the gatekeepers have been a little bit difficult. The problem is they are on it's called Aloha cloud-based solutions, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is good, but it is incredibly expensive, and they do like long contracts, like 4 or 5 years situations. So I believe they are halfway through.
Okay.
And there's a significant cost to the ETF. So it's not broken, don't fix it. Definitely have all the things to help them, and we can save them a lot of money. Just what's the spend and the ROI to get through that? But I definitely appreciate the lead, and thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Howard.
That's right. Yeah, as I was saying, this is not a political statement one way or the other. One of the candidates, I'm not saying which one, but one of the candidates came out with something yesterday that I thought was interesting, and maybe I'm behind the times with it, but I thought it was very simple, a very simple solution to a problem. And then I started thinking about it more, and it's got some far-reaching effects. So I'm going to give you what the proposal is. The proposal is very simple: that anybody who works on tips will not be taxed anymore. So in other words, whatever you get in taxes is not taxable.
You do realize that's a zero cost to the government.
I'm sorry, what?
That's a zero cost to the government.
Right.
Well, from now on, all my recruiting fees will be known as tips.
Yeah, my salary is now referred to as tips. That's
So I thought that was a pretty simple, and what I thought in my initial response was, that's going to bring people back to our industry, which is, servers work on tips. So that could
Howard,
bring people back.
I could see an issue with that right away with different states. In California, it's not going to work because California is not going to accept that because they want everybody to get paid $20 an hour so they can tax the people.
Yeah, but California is in a world of its own. I'm from California, and believe me, it wouldn't matter what you did.
Yeah, but this is federally.
But the New York State is proposing the same thing.
The reason that the giveaway of the tips is not a problem is it underlies the assumption that people actually declare all their tips.
Right.
Much of it is cash, so it's giving away nothing. Is what I meant by saying it has really. It sounds better than it really is.
Well, the question I have though is, I thought when you tip your server, that a portion of that tip has to go to the servers and the cooks and the bartenders. It's all spread out.
I think that depends on the restaurant or the bar.
Yeah, depends on how their operation goes. But then also there are processing fees on those tips as well if they are credit cards.
Right.
Yeah, because they lose. So my question is this, Howard, is if that was to go through, I mean, most servers make $2.25, $3.25 an hour.
Right.
Okay, so if they were to stop taxing tips, what's to say that they don't have to pay them anything an hour? They just live solely on their tips.
the state minimum laws, minimum pay laws.
But there was something else attached to that end statement. Howard, do you want to tell them what that was? Because that will also cover the other country.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Social Security?
Oh, no, that's a different issue.
Yes.
Okay,
That's a
Never mind.
different issue.
never mind.
No, but what I thought was a solution to one thing is going to cause a lot of issues in another area. If, for example, so he just mentioned that servers get $2.50 an hour. When they report their income, they may then be qualified for government assistance in some areas, even though they're making money. And in additionally, it might have an effect on people like Brian and Albach, whose company is doing the payroll and bookkeeping.
Well, I mean, like we said before, the credit card processing still has to get from one point to another point, right? And I mean, it's one of those things like it's probably like certain things where you put in that you're whatever classification of worker you are, there have to be exclusions in from some social policies, so to speak, that you may be eligible for or not eligible for. So I mean, yeah, obviously there is some kind of proposal out there, which obviously hasn't gone anywhere, but the fine writings of the 700-page legal document that will be created will probably address a lot of the stuff that's in question.
Yeah, I find
Which I'm sure Steve has already read and will now present to us.
every law that the government can put in, people are going to find a way around something.
Howard, you said that when, will that cause problems down the road if that does? I'm probably chasing a rabbit here, but it's no different than what's happening with the prescription drug plan. They're going to cap it at $2,000. The insurance companies have to swallow 60% of the drug cost after $2,000. So how are they going to make up for that? They're going to raise the premiums. Where you save something, you're going to have to raise something else to make up for the loss. You can't just say, I'm going to do it without any kind of repercussions.
Well, it's worked so far.
Well, here's something that's happening. I know there's a movement in the country by certain groups to eliminate tipping, like in Europe. I don't think you really tip in Europe.
Right.
The bill's the bill.
Right.
And in this country, I mean, I've had cousins coming over here from Holland, and they can't understand leaving extra money. Their brain goes nuts. They can't do that.
But if the tip is included in the yes, all right. So the tip is included in the bill. So the
in Europe, it may be included in the meal, but all I'm going to tell you, when you get a bill over there for $50, you're going to pay $50. If you get a bill here for $50, some places want you to leave a 25% tip on top of that.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, you think about it, if you go to a restaurant, a really nice upscale restaurant, usually at the bottom, it says parties of 8 or more, gratuity is already included in the price.
Right.
Okay.
Some of them are 6 or more.
I think it depends sometimes on the restaurant, really.
Yeah.
Yes.
But right now, I just Googled this. It says only 7 states currently require employees to pay tipped employees full state minimum wage before tips. Alaska, California, Minnesota, Montana, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington. They require employers to pay tipped employees full state minimum wage before tips.
Mhm.
But I know Florida is different. Florida is what, Howard, you may be right, maybe $2.50 an hour is what the wage is for there if you make tip income. So.
Also I've seen on receipts where they've started at 20%, 20, 25%, 22, 25%. Used to be like 15%, 18%, and then 20% now. So it's changed a lot.
I mean, I've seen, that is up to the restaurant. They're allowed to choose that percentage.
Yeah, yeah.
So the point of sale, so it's up to them. But I mean, I was at the airport the other day, and I was on a self-serve kiosk, and they asked for a tip.
Mhm.
I was like, well, I did it. Who am I tipping? Am I tipping me? But a lot of
Uh,
those, yeah, tip
Chris,
tip fatigue is true. But I think a lot of I mean, it does raise a lot of questions because, like, I think the earlier question, like tip outs for other employees or what that supports. So what does their income look like as far as tips go? And then another question would be, like you said, the gratuity. So I've seen places they are allowed, like every check gets a gratuity on it. They're calling it a different thing, maybe a to-go charge or for just online orders or whatever that may be, or online orders have a convenience fee. So it's difficult because there's more ways to incur the charges, but against people are becoming more fatigued against that. So it's difficult.
I know, Mike, when I was in Chicago with the family, we went to the Cubs game, and those guys that walk around stadiums, beer, hot dogs, whatever. So they walk up to you, you have no idea how much you're paying for the food. They say, so how much of a tip do you want to add to that? So it's like, they're asking for the tip before you even have an opportunity. It's like, well, that was pretty rude. Your service was horrible, yet you still want a tip? I was just,
Dollar's a dollar.
I just never, that's never happened to me before. So how much of a tip do you want to add to this today?
Well, Rick and Mike, there's a movie theater. Trying to think, it's all kind of all over Georgia, North Georgia, Cinemax, whatever it's called, and you go
Yeah,
and
the movie
eat.
tavern.
Yeah, you go down. Well, all right. So you order maybe popcorn and a drink, and they say, well, we automatically have to add 18% on there. It's like, okay. Like, then
Yeah.
then
Everyone.
I'm sorry. Go on, Mike.
Every one of them. That's their policy. I mean,
Yeah, I know,
it's
but
hard. I mean, I would rather it all just be one instead of nickel and dimed along the way, because it leaves a negative.
yeah,
Like
Yes.
you came in to spend $50. Okay, I'm okay with 50. I'm not okay with spending 75 because you got me once I got in the door.
then they also ask you, do you want to leave any more on there too? It's like, no, come on, right? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, this just shows, just this little conversation that we're having here, it shows you the simplest idea in government can bring up 12 or 15 different opinions. And imagine that's going on in Washington. That's why nothing gets done.
Yeah, but how many people, another question, Howard, is, how many people tip based on the actual service they get? I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're at a restaurant with 6 or 8 people and gratuity is automatically added, that means that server can be the worst server out there, treat you like crap, and they're still going to get a tip.
And that's
Yeah.
what'll happen.
And you know what? Then I would refuse to pay the tip. I mean, that's not right. If you're gonna,
Yeah.
I've always been taught that tipping was based on courtesy.
To ensure proper service.
Exactly. I mean, and I've always based my tip on the way that I'm served, because I want to have the same courtesy if I was, doing this. But I want to ask Mike a question. I've started actually tipping cash, not on the card, because I've always been told that the server doesn't get the full tip unless you give it
Correct.
cash.
That's 100%. I do my best to only tip in cash, just because that means the server gets 100%. I mean,
Yeah.
tip out,
Yeah.
but again, like if you tipped $10, I mean, there's whatever the processing fees for that restaurant are going to be deducted from that $10 tip, as far as if you tip with a card. But then here's another outlook. So like my business is to support restaurants. So customers of mine, I have a tip amount. I always have a minimum of, depending upon service, but then also, say if it's a new account or a prospect, I might tip more because of, good graces. Or then if that person's closer to the owner, hey, that guy really took care of me. I need to get that business card to this guy. We want to be memorable. There's a lot of different outlooks. So
have any of you ever totally given away a server a 0 tip?
Yes, I have.
Never.
Yes, I have.
No, but I've given a very small tip because I didn't want to think I forgot it.
Because you don't know what they're gonna do to your food the next time you come in.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I never had
Well,
the
you know,
heart.
if I'm gonna
Never
get,
had the
first of
heart.
all, if I'm gonna get bad service like that, I may never ever come back.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you
Rick,
know.
that's
I'm gonna-
exactly right. I told him I'm never going to come back here. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I'll
never,
tell you
never have
this,
been back.
if I get exemplary service from that server, I leave a good tip and then I make sure I find the manager on duty to say, listen, this gentleman or this lady, they treated with the utmost respect. I know you can't do anything for their pay, but you need to give them an attaboy or an attagirl or something, because servers can be treated like garbage sometimes. I mean, you know, it's sometimes people think they're the lowest of the lows. Like, you're my server, you're supposed to do what I tell you to do. And that's the wrong attitude to have.
See, and when I go into a restaurant with Howard, a lot of times, like the other day, we went with another couple, and the lady clearly had some issues, mental. She wasn't there. You could tell something was wrong in her life, and I could feel it. And you know, people were like being mean, they were complaining, and you know, we talked to her for a little bit. Well, I come to find out she did have some limited disabilities from an accident that she had just had. And that was why she was trying to do the best she could. But she was, you know, other people were mad. And oh my, the one lady came over and said, don't order from her. It takes forever. And she was, you know, one of these types of women that would do that. And so I said, you know, there could be issues. Anyway, we gave her an extra tip because, you know, you just wanted her to feel good. I can feel the pain inside of people sometimes, and I know what they're going through, and it's hard. And that's the job they have, and they have no other means of support. So, I mean, if it's clearly their attitude and, you know, they could do better, that's another story. But sometimes when you see people that really are suffering, you can feel it. You know, it's a meal, and I can sit there and be served. So I'm a little different attitude than most people, but
Well,
that
Terry, I agree with you 100%. I mean, as a father of an autistic, you know, individual, I would prefer to be served by somebody like that has some issues, because that shows that that company that
Right.
that individual is working for is giving that person an opportunity and a chance, where another company may say, we don't like your kind, we don't want you, you're too much of a problem. I would prefer to have somebody who has a little bit more difficulty, because I have the compassion. I understand what that individual is having to face.
well, this
Well-
poor woman had no feeling in one of her hands, and she was trying to carry dishes, and there was nothing wrong with her mentally. She was just physically, you could feel it when she walked to the table. I could feel that something was horribly wrong with her. And Howard always, you know, doesn't feel the same way I do or understand what I can feel inside of other people. But anyway, she got a better tip.
The
Well,
So
I
quick.
had two waiters that had a very unique way of raising the tips that they receive. The waiters, one guy was tiny, of course, a guy named Tiny. He weighed 350 pounds, and his partner in crime was a guy named Jay. Well, Tiny would go out to the table and take the order, then go back in the kitchen. Then Jay would go out to the same table and say, "Let me tell you, Tiny is so new to us. He's trying his best to do whatever he can to make your service really wonderful." Of course, Tiny was a pro. He just knew how to do everything from A to Z, top to bottom, left to right. And so many times the people would say, "Oh, let's leave him a bigger tip. Let's encourage him. He's really good."
That's fine.
well, how many of you?
Hold on,
If you
Howard. Mike wants to say something.
go ahead.
I will say, so like, shameless customer plug. So we actually have a customer of ours called Slice Pizza Kitchen, here in North Georgia and Cumming, and they're actually every employee is a special needs employee. So, the owner of the restaurant was actually a special needs teacher. Her husband's a restaurant owner. They compiled the work together, and actually all the employees are all special needs. And I always was hoping we would do well. So I remember when they opened, it was a little bit of a bumpy opening of training and things like that, making sure everything's cool. But thousands and thousands of 5 stars reviews of people just saying how nice it was, how like great it was to meet the people, how the staff tried so hard and everything. Like almost zero people being rude or disrespectful to the type of employees that were employed there. And it was just fantastic to see. And I think we need more of those kind of things in this world.
Absolutely
Hey,
right.
Mike, where are they? Are they still in business?
Yeah, Cumming City Center, right behind the owners. Actually, they're the owners of Homestead.
Oh,
The
yeah,
loft,
okay.
the
I know
well,
where
and
you're
then
at.
on the back
Okay.
of it is Slice.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'll go check it out. I've
yeah,
been out there a
they're
couple times.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We have I'll call it a catering company, an ice cream catering company in the 11 o'clock group that employs only people with mental or physical handicap. So and they do events all over the place. But the question that I wanted to ask you is, if you got terrible service or if your food was terrible, would you tell the manager? Number one. And number two, if you're getting terrible service on a consistent basis, then that manager is not doing his job. He's not training the people to do the right job. So would you tell the manager?
Yes, I know. April and I and the kids went to an Italian restaurant, and unfortunately, the cook put too much of the lemon juice within the actual sauce, and April couldn't eat it. And I was like, "Well, let's tell the manager, no, 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 I'll just eat the salad. Don't worry about it. Probably just have a bad day." I said, "No," I said, "they have to know what's going on, because that could be portion control, that could be a food loss cost. There's so much behind that." So we told the manager, and the manager came back after the food was replaced. She goes, "Yeah, we tasted that. We had to drop that whole sauce because they put too much lemon juice in it." And they thanked us for that, because even though they had to lose all that, it's better than customers not coming in at all. And they actually, and I didn't ask for it, but she comped her meal. And that's not what I asked for. I just asked for a replacement. But, I mean, I would definitely tell them.
Whenever I do something like that, I always tell the manager, look, I'm not trying to beat you for a meal or get something comped. I'm trying to tell you as an education for you so you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And they always appreciate that.
Yeah. So the other part too is everybody has such a voice online. So like what I'm trying, I'd rather voice it to the manager and try and deal with it quietly so they can fix it, so that the person with that loud voice, or that the reviews, or how the digital keyboard warrior that's gonna get them, like at least they're aware of it to try and fix it for the future. Because
a friend of mine was a waiter, and fortunately his manager listened to him, because the kitchen somebody made a horrible mistake. It was a pre-meal deal, and the staff was lined up, and they're having a steak and lobster special, and they had the drawn butter up there, and they said, everybody that gets steak and lobster, give them one of these drawn butters. And my friend smelled it. He says, "This is not drawn butter." And the manager said, "Yeah, I believe it is." And so they tested it, or took another look at it. It was grease cutter.
What is okay? First of all, what is grease cutter? I've never heard that before.
It looks like drawn butter.
Yeah, it's an orange. It's an orange heavy duty degreaser.
Yeah,
and I believe it's acidic, where it'll take some skin off.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a huge lawsuit.
Yeah, well, they dodged a bullet. Bullets that night.
Oh.
Well, so if you go into a restaurant and you're getting lousy service, it takes a little bit of gumption to tell the manager about it. But it's something that, I guess people, we're in the industry, so we should be able to tell the manager that and not feel strange about doing it. And I think the more people that do that, the better quality we'll get.
Well, I would only do bad service if somebody's standing around talking, you see they're not doing their job, something like that. Not because they're overwhelmed, they've given too many tables, too much to do. That's a whole different story. Then you wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Bad, that's another story. If I'm paying for it, I better be able to eat it. And I'm very clear when I order, very clear, so that they don't come out. I said, look,
Again.
now I want to send this back. But if
Forget it. Everything you order comes out wrong.
I
I don't know why.
I said,
Oh
if
my
It's
God.
not your fault. It's not your fault. Every time she
everything,
orders something, she's clear about it, and it never comes out right. I mean, I would sit down at the table before we even see the wait staff. It's going to come out wrong. I bet money on it.
Hey, Howard, April and I were heading down to Florida for our honeymoon, and we stopped in Macon, Georgia at a Applebee's. And the server came over and said, congratulations, we saw your car, whole 9 yards. And I said, well, we'd like to an order. And I said, well, don't you want to write this down? Oh, no, I got a good memory up here. I was like, okay, I'll trust you. You know, maybe you've been doing this for a while. Well, he got the order right. And the first bite into my hamburger, I felt something metal in my mouth, and I pulled it out. And I said, okay, I know what this is. This is a wire from the brush grill in the ground beef. And so I called the manager over and I said, you know, I want to tell you this quietly without, because there's a lot of people that I said, can you tell me what this is? And he goes, yeah, I know what this is. Where'd you find it? I said, in my hamburger meat. He turned 4 shades of red. I mean, he was so embarrassed. They comped our meal, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But I was just like, you know, I mean, that's the worst thing you want is not necessarily just on your honeymoon, but to bite into something and there's a foreign object in your food. I mean, it's just like, ugh.
you know, but on those things, how do you know? That's like those brushes, like one tiny little thing. But yeah, it could have killed you. I mean,
yeah, if I had swallowed it, it would have torn me up all the way inside.
absolutely.
You know
Hey,
what
Rich,
drives
look at
me?
the bright side. What a way to go on your honeymoon.
Yeah. You know what drives me crazy? When you go out to dinner when you're a party of 4 and you give the server your order, writes everything down properly, and then the runner comes out and says, who got the hamburger? Who got the ribs? I know that there are restaurants that have a system where they know who gets what at the table. And
Yeah.
if you,
So easily can be printed on the check, but you don't like the auction system? So it's hey, I got a calamari of 1 for
Yeah. If you ordered calamari, they know who got it. I'll tell you that. It's the better restaurants that know that. So.
yeah, I know, but it's not that difficult to figure out. It's not. If you allocate a number or a letter to each seat on a table, a location, it's not hard.
Yeah,
Anyway.
So like you walk up to the table, everybody to the left starts with 1. When you put in a guest, you can label the guest. So it'd be seat positions. You can have that labeled in the system to the station, which should print out on the tickets as they go. So it is doable, but not everybody takes that approach.
Yeah.
Or not everybody also always pays attention. It might still be on there, just not always notified.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a great way. Well, we've come to the end of our hour.
And I was having a good time.
If you don't like the service that you got here today, talk to the manager.
Howard will take care of you. I know a guy.
All right. Well,
I want to know where Steve got that that emoji from on here. Where is it?
Oh, that's simply go to video. Oopsie, sorry about that.
That's
you go to
his memoji.
video and go to video settings, and you go to background effects,
Mhm.
And if you scroll down, you have emojis. So you can choose hi.
Ah,
Okay. Huh.
All right.
Cute. I'll have to remember that. I remember that. That's good.
Steve's tip for the week.
Yes.
All right, thank you all for coming. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks
have
for
a great
picking on the
weekend.
Alabama guy
Thank
again.
you.
I appreciate it.
Don't forget September the 6th.
All right.
Make sure. All right. Have a great
Thanks, guys.
weekend and
You- all
let
right.
the sauce be with you.
You got it.
Indeed.
Thank
All
you.
right. Come back to see us.
fare thee well. I have to go get the Georgia leads ready now.